So she was praying for me through the phone, and she was telling me like, there is a spirit after you trying to get you to like end it. And at this time, I've probably had a lot of suicidal thoughts. I didn't want to act on, of course, because I love my family. Closer to God, I kept inching closer, trying not to be like lukewarm or nothing. But yeah, I started fasting and really trusting in Him. And I was like, God, I pray that you do what you're gonna say you're gonna do. I had no idea He was gonna do that for me. People were telling me like, God is gonna do something big with you. And I feel like when my testimony started, like I said in sixth grade, He lined everything up. Everything was like for a reason. But like I said, I got 10 D1 offers last summer, even though all those doubts and stuff like that I had.
Score more, rescued me. You lifted my head up. I was keeping my head down. I didn't know love. 'Cause you stood right there. You broke apart the lies. You told me I had something beautiful inside.
Hi, Mariana Smoot. I'm at the Irie Church. I play basketball for Team Takeover EYBL. Today I will be sharing my testimony to start off my podcast. It is called the Confidence Podcast. Behind the name, I have in my notes, what is confidence? It is God and confidence mixed up together. And it's the state of a feeling certain that God is going to work things out for your good. And why I decided to choose that name is because I really felt like that name was just in my spirit to just really decide that one. So I think it's a great name, and it's kind of going to reflect on everything that I talk about in this podcast today. So we're going to start off with my testimony, but really just I really just went through a lot at an early age. I feel like I've had a great life, but I just think that it all started when I was pretty much young. I've always got told like that I was different, and I was like, pastors used to come pray for me and stuff like that. But I always grew up in the church, but that didn't really, I say dictate my relationship with God. But long story short, as I got older, like I said, I always stayed in the church, always stayed, at the I, and we've all grown up together as a family church. But as I got into middle school, I started to deal with like a lot of things when it came from friends and like trying to fit in and like, just doing bad things like trying to smoke and trying to fit in. And it was just like a lot of things that happened that I didn't really know that I was under attack by the devil so early, but I really was. But long story short, so I lived with my grandma for a little bit at one point, and I started to hang out with this group of friends. And they were all older than me, and they all just did like their own things. They're all very experienced to like this world, and I really wasn't. But I ended up just kicking it with them for like time to time, and it just kind of led me down a bad path. And I started to feel kind of like depressed, and so I was dealing with this depression and dealing with the stuff me and my family were going through. And it was during quarantine time, so everybody was isolated. Really, everybody stayed in the house. We had no school. So we all were just fighting different battles at the time, but I definitely felt like this was definitely the start of my testimony because I was hanging out with those kids. We were just doing bad things that we probably shouldn't have been. I wasn't doing my schoolwork. I kind of felt like isolated a lot. Stick to myself. I didn't really talk to my family at one point. I just stay in the room, and I really just be crying and stuff like that, and just really felt like I felt like I was gonna be sad forever, and yeah, I did a lot of bad things that I really do regret, but I don't regret because at the same time, it all worked out for my good, and God let those lessons be a part of this testimony. So, long story short, we did a lot of things, but this one time we did something kind of bad, and I told God, I was like, I don't know why I'm doing these things, but I was very lukewarm, I'd say. Like I said, I know of God because I grew up in the church, and I felt like I knew him just because of that, but in reality, I really didn't. So one day I was just crying out, and I really cried out to God because I really felt like I did not want to be alive, and I didn't want to be in this world because I didn't feel like I had a purpose, or I didn't know what I was here for, really. But one day my grandma came to me, and we were in the car, and she was like, one of her cousins wanted to pray for me. So I wasn't going to let a prayer go away. So I was like, okay, yeah, she could pray for me. So she was praying for me through the phone, and she was telling me like, there is a spirit after you trying to get you to like ended. And at this time, I've probably had a lot of suicidal thoughts. I didn't want to act on, of course, because I love my family, and I was so young. I was in like sixth grade, so I don't know like how a sixth grader is having thoughts of doing bad stuff to herself. So it was just really that bad. And so she had prayed for me, and she was like, "There's something after you. You really have to pray, and really cry out to God, and that He will come through for you." So of course, I believe that there is a God. I believe that Jesus is real, but I didn't know that like how powerful God it really is. So I started to pray from now and then. Like it was like maybe like I'd pray on Monday morning and then probably not pray Wednesday but Friday. So it was just like I was up and down with it. But over time, I tried to get out that feeling of feeling depressed because I was really fighting it bad. It would come back from time to time, but then when I started praying, I started to notice a change in me, and I started praying to God, just asking Him to remove it. It was a simple prayer. Like, I'd probably say, "God, just please help me," or like, "God, please take this feeling away," like this feeling of sadness that was like driving me crazy. I felt like I was in like a deep hole, and that I wasn't going to be able to get out. So I ended up praying just from now and then. And the friends that I used to hang out with, I just told them I didn't want to hang out with them anymore because they were smoking and they were doing bad things that like I didn't want to I just kind of didn't have the urge to even kick it with them anymore, especially when I was trying to get out the hole and they kept, driving me to do bad things. So I decided just to cut them all off, and I had sent them a text that I was done with that. So yeah. So after a little while, I didn't really have friends, but I just continued to start to pray to God, and I started to see myself slowly get out that hole that I was fighting to get out of. And I still felt a little sad, but I started to get out of it. So eighth grade comes around, about to go into high school. I felt like I got out that hole. I'm pretty happy again, but I'm still very lukewarm. You could say I really stopped praying to God at a time. I didn't really talk to Him when I got out the hole, which is very inconsiderate. But ninth grade come around, I was in a relationship. I got into in eighth grade. I was in a relationship. I moved back with my mom. I was living with my dad. I moved back with my mom here to Manassas, and I got into a relationship. And I thought this relationship was like my for lifer. I thought we were gonna be together forever. But he started to lead me to do things that was pretty uncalled for. And we started to just argue, and I started to see myself going back to where I fought hard to get out of years ago, like just feeling sad and just feeling like why would he do that to me? Why would he break my heart? So we had fought the battles we fought together, and then one day I just had a decision to break up with him, and it was a pretty big decision I made in ninth grade because I thought he was my for lifer, but he had did some things that hurt me. So I went home that night. I started to play basketball actually in eighth grade. And I think that's what kind of drove me to I think that was definitely all a part of God's plan because I had just started in eighth grade and I'm already pretty good in 11th. So, I started playing basketball in eighth grade. It led into ninth grade. So I had joined the basketball team. Me and him were together for half of the season. And then like at the end of the season, that's when we broke up. And just felt like alone. And I had cried out to God in my room. I was like, "God, I hate how I feel. I hate that feeling that like He really broke my heart, and I felt like so alone." And so I cried out to God, and I just continued just to go to school. I kicked it by myself. He had a new girlfriend, and it was just hard to see that every day, but I just remember just saying, "God, it got you." And I was, like I said, still very lukewarm at this time. I cried out when I was hurt, but not when I was happy. So so I went through this thing. So then one day my friend, she had took me to this gym. Mind you, I just started playing basketball, so I wasn't really like working out every day, really not trying to be anything big, I guess. Like I just took it as a joke. But after the season of ninth grade, I had made varsity. My friend was like, "Oh, we should get in the gym together." But first there was a job at K Sports. It was like this soccer job. And my mom told me I should get a job, but I didn't think I was actually going to get one there. So she had introduced me into this job at the gym that I now train with. So she got me the job, and so I was there every day, just working harder every other day. And then she had introduced me to my new trainer, Chauncey. And we had met each other, and he was just like playing around one day, like, "Oh, y'all should just come in the gym every day, like try to get in the gym every day." So I was thinking about it. I was like, well, I play basketball, I'm not that good, but I can try to get better. So I decided just to take his word for it. Mind you, I'm still going through this heartbreak kind of. I was still just trying to distract myself from how I felt. And I really thank God for this because I really do think that He gave me that job so that I could meet my trainer. And that could be like a way of just opening a door. I definitely felt like that job opened a door to another thing. So I'm glad that God had placed that in my life. So yeah, I had met my trainer. After the first workout I decided to go to with her, I decided to start working out like every day. And so I started to realize I was actually getting kind of good at basketball. So that definitely opened the door. And then me and my trainer, we got really close. He's really like my mentor. Like he guides me in life and not just only in basketball. So we're really close now. So once that door was open, I started to work hard every day. 10th grade comes around. I make varsity again. And I was just pretty to myself 10th grade year. I feel like that's when I had made a decision that I really wanted to follow Christ. But on top of that, I just really felt, again, alone because I was trying to walk this path with God that was really tough because nobody else wanted to walk with me. And the school I was in, it was Osborne Public School. Nobody wanted to walk with me, and I was just around girls who, like, they were very sweet, very nice, but didn't have the same motivation I had to try to really follow God this time around and not just say that I know God when I really don't even follow him. So I told them about, like, how I was trying to get closer to God. So one day I had came into Thi, came to church one Sunday, and I got I got a prayer from Pastor Travis, and he was telling me, he was like, starting now, like, you should give at least 10 minutes to God. So I was thinking, all right, 10 minutes is slight. Like, I got the Bible app. I'm going to just play it while I get ready because I used to work out. I still do work out at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning. I'll get up and before he even told me that I didn't really do nothing, so I just would just get up, get ready, and leave. So he told me, find a time where you can just spend time with God. So I decided to just make that time when I woke up to listen to my Bible and just really just try to really understand that and build that relationship with God. So I decided to do that. And so I was listening to my Bible every day since he told me. And I started to realize a change in me. Like, I didn't want to cuss anymore. I didn't have the drive to hang out with certain people who were like cussing and just doing stuff like that. And it was no judge or nothing like that. I was just trying to work on myself and trying to build that relationship and not let it just be religion. So I started to stop cussing. I stopped really listening to certain music because I started to realize what it was doing to me, and like it was really like bad music. And Pastor Travis had told me that before, that I needed to watch the music that I was listening to. So I didn't really take music that serious, but it's very actually serious. So I had to cut off some music, and that was not easy. I struggled with that for like cussing, and listening to bad music was a struggle I had. So yeah, one day I decided just to delete my album of like bad music. And at first I was kind of hesitant about it. I was like, dang, what am I going to listen to? Like, stuff like that. But I had made a gospel playlist instead. And I just had to decide, I made a decision. I was like, I'm going to stop cussing. I'm going to stop listening to bad music. And I continued just to, at those 5 a.m. workouts, 6 a.m. workouts, I continued to just listen to my Bible before I went and say a quick little prayer. I was like, God, I hope that I have a good day, and I hope that you stay with me. And it was just a really simple, like, prayers at the moment because I didn't realize that I needed more time with God yet, but it started to build the relationship and the connection. So, yeah. So the basketball season of 10th grade comes up. I'm on varsity again. Kind of taking basketball serious, but not really. But I'm still working hard. Like I said, getting up in the morning, going to work out. So I had a great season, and then it was kind of a hard season though because my team, we were kind of bad, so we lost a lot. But it was fun, just like, I guess, just experiencing it again. But I had joined Takeover, EYBL Nike program. I had joined it, and I had no idea what I was getting into. But every day that when I first joined the team, I was just so anxious going in. I was just like, God, I don't know if I'm meant to be here because all these girls are good. They're great players. Like, I'm just new. I just started in 8th grade. Like, they're all experienced. They all played together before. So every day as I went 16U AU team, every day that I went down to practice in Maryland, I was just so anxious. Like, I would just felt like I wasn't good enough to be hanging out or like hanging with them. And I would just feel this like feeling that I was doubting God, even though he has told me all the plans he has for me, and people have told me that he was going to do a lot of things for me. So I knew what he was going to do for me, but I just didn't have faith, and I didn't trust that those things were true. I didn't believe that he was going to do what he said he was going to do. So I was just so anxious. As I started to pray, like after the practice, after I would have a bad practice or like a practice just feeling anxious, I would pray to God, and I would be like, God, I just feel so anxious every time I come up here, every time I'm on the way back down. Like, I get the feeling like you're not going to do what you're going to do for me. And I just pray, and like, God, I don't want to doubt you. but I don't know if you're really going to do what you say. So yeah, I just kept saying that same prayer because it would just be a constant feeling of doubt. And I didn't know back then, but that was really the devil feeding those lies in my head that I wasn't good enough and that I wasn't going to do, I wasn't going to do anything that God had planned for me. So it was just a lot of things I was fighting, but not really knowing, not being very spiritually mature, I'd say. I didn't know what I was thinking. Like, was it my thoughts or was it the devil's? So it was really just a hard balance of not being like spiritually mature at the time. So, yeah, I would fight those thoughts, those battles, and I would just pray to God and try not to go away from Him, but try to go towards Him so I could understand, but and not lean on my own understanding. So yeah, so after that summer, I had to really really trust in God because I had to take like all those thoughts aside and really trust in Him. And that got me a long way this last summer that I got 10 offers and they're all D1. So after that summer, I had 10th grade. That was definitely a great summer, but I really had to trust Him. Like, that was definitely like, He opened the door for me to even be on the EYBL circuit and play on Nike circuit. And I only started in 8th grade. So like that's a lot of people don't do that. So that's why I say that like I feel like when my testimony started, like I said, in 6th grade, He lined everything up. Everything was like for a reason. But like I said, I got 10 D1 offers last summer, even though all those doubts and stuff like that I had to really put my pride to the side, and I had to really just humble myself too and say that like, if He said He's going to do it for you, He's going to do it for you. So I ended up just really trusting Him throughout that summer. I had to do a lot of fasting, so I started to try to get closer to God. I kept inching closer, trying not to be like lukewarm or nothing. But yeah, I started fasting and really trusting in Him. And I was like, God, I pray that You do what You're going to say You're going to do. I had no idea He was going to do that for me. People were telling me like, God is going to do something big with you, and He just a lot of things. So and I ended up, like I said, finishing the summer with 10 D1 offers. And so after that summer, God has still have a lot to do with me, and there's more coming. But now I'm in 11th grade, and there was definitely more to the story, but I'm in 11th grade now, and my faith is very strong. I don't think I can be moved by any matter. I still play EYBL, and it's way different now. I trust Him. And I felt like I've definitely fought a lot of battles with my testimony, just feeling alone, just the devil wanting me to give up, and just like even with like having thoughts of like killing myself in 7th grade. And I didn't think I was going to make it to the age 15. Actually, I told myself in 8th grade, I told myself I wasn't going to make it to being 15. So that's just kind of sad for what I think I was 12, maybe 13-year-old to be saying that, like just feeling alone, like I didn't have a purpose. But in the end, God had everything aligned for me if I would have just trust and just believed in Him. So I really thank Him for that. And He definitely lined everything up for me, and my testimony is still going. But now I'm in 11th grade. I still fight with a lot of things, but I really do trust God with my life. And this summer I'm playing with Takeover, like I said, and there's definitely more blessings coming that I'll be able to share on this podcast. And I'm really excited to share the things that I've gone through, the things that just to talk about, like with fighting the devil 24 hours because he's trying to take everything that you have in your life because he's already failing. So, yeah, 11th grade has been going great. I'm doing pretty good. And this walk with God is definitely not easy. And I've definitely felt alone a lot of times walking with God, but it's all worth it. And everything that I've gone through before this, I'm really thankful, to be honest, because even though it really hurt, it really shaped who I was, and I'm able to share the things that I've went through because I went through it. And that will lead others to know that like God is still with you. He hasn't left your side, even if we felt like it. Even when we looked away from God, He was still waiting for us, and just like still waiting for us to open the door for Him to love us. So, yeah, so like I said, 11th grade's going good. Fighting with just like, probably just most thing I find with is just feeling alone. Maybe just like walking with God. There's not everybody in this generation that's just going to want to do that. It's a lot of commitment, but like I just said, the commitment is definitely worth it. And walking with God is probably the best decision I've ever made, and really just giving my life to Him as I got rebaptized in probably like February or maybe March. I don't know. I forgot. But I got rebaptized, and I got baptized when I was 12, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So I got rebaptized. But I definitely decided to get rebaptized this year because I really felt like God has really changed me, and like He really has done something in me that like I don't even know how I got this far, but the relationship me and God has, like I don't think the devil could ever take me away from him. Like I don't know, no like tactic, no nothing he sends. I don't know. It's just not gonna move me. So I don't know. I really definitely put my trust and my faith in God with my basketball career, with my life, with my friends, my family. I just trusted him that he works out everything for our good and for their good. So like I said, that was just kind of like a little bit of my testimony. I didn't really want to get into too much details, but we're going to be talking about a lot of different things on this podcast. Just for this to be a safe space, just to know that like you're not alone and that we all are going through it in this world. Every Christian, even not even just being an athlete, we're all going through it, and we all have a story to share. And God has put probably everybody through the same thing, and that you have somebody to rely on. And so yeah, but this is my podcast, and this is what we're gonna be talking about.